Good morning. Can you all hear me back there? Kinda?
Not as well as you can the people next door, though. That was us back there.
So our presentation is going to sound a little bit different because we're presenting for an ACT school, Activating Catalytic Transformation. And so what we did is we came together to look at a goal for our school and how we would meet this goal. So one thing we wanted to focus on is how can we reach all students? The students who are struggling, as teachers, that's what we try to focus on. However, we still have those higher kids that we needed to try to find time to get to. And that is something that our principal gave us, was the gift of time. He was able to fix our schedule so we have a 30-minute block 4 days a week that we could work one-on-one with the kid or in a small group setting. And we call this Greyhound Grit Time. Do you want to? Sure. Go a little bit more about that.
Good morning. My name is Jeannie Reed. I teach 6th grade math and science at this small community school where we teach. And the first time we're in the second year of our ACT program. And the first time I really understood this program was when I heard my principal explain it to a group of administrators. He says, as educators, if one of our own children begin to struggle in a class, we would go out and hire them a tutor. We would hire a professional teacher to make sure our student or our child got what he or she needed to catch up. 85 to 95% of our students each year fall far below the poverty line, not just below it, far below it. Their parents can't hire tutors. So what he did was he created a schedule so that each day, every child who struggled in that day's learning target gets a professional tutor, a fully certified teacher to sit down with that student and maybe the 3 or 4 others that struggled that day, and they get to hear it again, see it again, do something hands-on to make sure that connection is made. The gift of time is the perfect thing. Every teacher always wishes, if I could have just had a few more minutes with that little girl, she was almost there. We get that. It has been the most amazing transformation, to use the ACT terminology, that I've ever seen in my 25 years teaching. One of our goals we hoped was that our special ed referrals would drop. It did, drastically. And the reason is because of those poor little kids going day after day after day. Well, I didn't get yesterday. How am I supposed to get today? I didn't get the last 3 days. How am I supposed to get today? We catch them every day. Each of us write lesson plans that have a daily learning target, the instruction we're going to do that day to get that learning target, and the formative assessment that's going to be given that day that determines if that child gets that bonus 30 minutes. On the wonderful day when all of our students accomplish that day's target, that 30 minutes is used for enrichment. That's what she was referring to, those high kids that are always sitting there waiting or finish first and always have to wait. Occasionally, when all of our students meet their learning target for that day, we get to pull those high kids, and on those days we do enrichment activities. We take it to the next level. We get the opportunity to honestly challenge those kids. One thing that we've noticed is interesting is Miss Mullins teaches 5th grade, I teach 6th grade, Miss Whitten teaches kindergarten, and Miss Pennington is our writing lab teacher, so we all have very different jobs. And the interesting thing we've discovered is how different this Greyhound Grit Time looks in each classroom. I'm going to let Miss Whitten talk a little bit about what kindergarten looks like.
Okay, my name is Miss Whitten, and this year I teach 1st grade, but I still have 5 kindergartners in my class. Up until now, I've always taught kindergarten. But Greyhound Grit Time for me is more of not really remediation, but covering gap skills that I don't get to cover in my learning targets or in my state standards. Those gap skills that we don't meet all the time. This year, it's been a whole lot of me catching my kindergartners up on skills that they don't get during my 1st grade instruction time, and it has been marvelous. I know that one of my kindergarten students is performing higher than a 1st grade level right now because of my Greyhound Grit Time. She's been able to, she can read fluently, and we're only in the 3rd month of school. So it's helped my reading fluency greatly because I get 45 minutes just to sit down with those kids. We can work on their sight words, we can work on words that they're missing, and I get to send a specific list home because I know individually what that child needs to work on to better their reading. And so it's been great in my classroom.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. I'm Melissa Pennington, and I'm the writing lab teacher at Flat Gap Elementary. And Greyhound Grit time for me is very different because I get to see K through 6 every day. And so some days I'll work with 5th grade, some days I'll work depending on what those kids need at that time. And like Ms. Reed said, this is our second year. And for my Greyhound Grit time also, as part of ACT, I'm also the community engagement lead. And we have designed a Greyhound Grit news program that the students write, direct, produce, and I facilitate sending that out to our Facebook page, our Twitter feed, to really let the community know what's going on. It gives day-to-day stuff, like the practice schedules. What time do we need to show up for our practices? And as part of our Greyhound Grit time, we were also able to go to the radio station and have our school advertised. So our Greyhound Grit time is very different for me, but we get to see kids who normally don't like writing really bloom and blossom as writers, as authors, and let their voices be heard.
And I do want to add, with the ACT last year, with some of the funds that we were provided with, we are able to purchase some interventions, some materials to work with our students. One thing that we have implemented third through sixth is data notebooks. So each kid is actually responsible for writing down their own learning target, and if they know if they have met that target or not, and they'll just simply say, hey, I need to stay today for some extra help. So it's putting a lot of ownership on those students, and this is something that we wouldn't have been able to do if we did not partner with KVEC and the ACT. So we have seen great gains, like she mentioned. We reduced the number of special education referrals. Our proficiency had went up, so we really was able to see the effect of this once those test scores came out, and we did some analysis on that. So, yes?
How did you all find that 45 to 30 minutes within your time in your schedule?
We have been through several different schedules, and the way it works is our students never miss gym, art, music. It's kind of that writing, library time, and our principal was just able to design that schedule to free us up for that 30 minutes where they would go to one of those extra special classes. So it wasn't an easy task, and we've went through several different schedules. Does anybody have any other questions we might be able to answer right now? Do you guys have anything else to add? All right, thank you.